the different Hebrew Israelites from the One West camp, letting the Native Americans in, but saying they're not Africans. Hell no. They say that they don't want to deal with the Africans because Africans were responsible for the slavery of black people, that they played a role into it, that Africans helped the white man bring us over here, and that the Africans did not send anyone to save us, right, from the white man who had us in chattel slavery in America. So they denounced the African as being their brother. Even though we know Israel is from Africa and Ethiopia is from Africa. All these are in Africa. The Middle East is really a part of Africa. But they say they're not Africans, and they denounce Africans because of the role they played in the slave trade, and they say Africans are their enemies. But what they fail to look at is that, for one, there's no real place called Africa. That Africa is a continent of many countries and of many, many, many tribes. So they fail to talk about what tribe played a role in slavery, the Ashantis. They fail to talk about that, and they try to condemn all of Africa, which 3 Americas can fit into. The largest continent in the world that these Hebrew Israelites, these soapbox Power Ranger Hebrew Israelites, can condemn the largest continent of black people in the world with no problem. So they condemn all of Africa, not dealing with tribes and countries and even time periods. They just say, oh, Africans let us come into slavery, and they don't take into effect or into realization that Africans were enslaved in Africa. Certain Africans were slaves in Africa, and certain kingdoms were colonized. And that colonialism was a form of African slavery for different tribes and countries within Africa. So while some Africans participated in slavery, which were very few, some Africans were enslaved in Africa. Some tribes and countries were enslaved in Africa. They were forced under colonialism. This is a fact. But they go and lump it all together because they've been taught to hate black. They've been taught to hate their own people. So they condemn all of Africa. That's a lot of black people. Not dealing with the specifics of what happened during slavery. And then they say, okay, well, they didn't send a hero over. They didn't send nobody over here to save us, and nobody from Africa. And I want to tell you that when certain slaves up north in America got freedom before those in the South, that not a lot of Negroes came back from the North to free a lot of Negroes from the South. So if you're going to get rid of Africa for not playing a role in the liberation of blacks in America, then the South would have to then condemn the North as well. Southern Negroes would have to condemn Northern Negroes. I'm going in. So that's illogical. And you say the Africans are not your brother, and then you go and say the Native American is your brother, but you don't realize that Native Americans had slaves. The Chickasaw, the Indian Confederation, they had slaves. Not only did the Native Americans have slaves, they had slavery long after slavery was so-called abolished. Do your research. So when the white man couldn't do slavery no more, they agreed on it. The Chickasaw specifically kept slaves on their land because they were sovereigns. And they was not under the jurisdiction, the federal government or the white supremacy government. So they said, even though slavery is abolished, we're going to continue to have black slaves. Long after it ended, these are your Native Americans. And Native Americans played a role in blacks being slaves in America as well. But you call them your brother. You call these pale Negroes your brothers. And you denounce the largest continent in the world of melanated people because you hate black. You can't say you're not an African and then say the Native American is your brother and the Native American is your slave master. See, the America treats the Native, even though he did worse to black people in America, he treats the Native American better than he treats the black people in America. See, the Native American has their own Indian reservations, their own land, they can keep their own culture. The white man, to some degree, kisses the ass of the Native Americans. But he still hates black. Native Americans still got their cultural independence, their independence of identity connected with land. And if we want our own land independent of the white man, we're considered terrorists. I don't give a goddamn about no Native American. And never would I make the Native Americans my brothers and condemn the largest continent in the world of black people. They want the next best thing to the white man. Since they don't want to just come out and really call the white man their brother, which some Hebrew Israelites you see doing that, hugging up with the white man, talking about the white man as their brother and their teacher and their father and their student and all that, versus them hugging up with the white man, they're going to just go ahead and say, well, we'll hug up with the Native American. We'll go ahead and hug up with the Latino. We'll go hug up with the Mexican, which are all nothing but Native Americans, which were some of our slave masters. You are taught to hate black when you hate the largest continent in the world of melanated people. But you love some stringy-haired fucking Native American. That ain't really even a damn Native American. It's really just some type of a mulatto, some type of a white man and an Asian blend. Really ain't no god. They not if the white man is a Native American. Because before we got over here and got off that boat, he was already over here. So in our eyes, he was native to it. So the white man is the Native American. And what you're calling a Native American is just the older Native Americans. They were the natives before the natives that were the white man. But they're all Americans and they're all natives. We are the aboriginals. We are the original man and original woman of the planet Earth. God of the universe. We're the mothers and fathers of all civilization over the entire planet Earth. 196,940,000 square miles. That's us. That's the black man, the Asiatic black man, which encompasses the Asiatic body before the Pangaean shift, where all of these different continents was one before the shift in the tectonic plates. The whole Earth is ours, and we are aboriginals to the Earth and to the planet before these different dissections and divisions of continents was made. I'm teaching. So the Native American is just the American before the white Native American. But black is the root. Black is the origin. Black is the source of all existence. And if you ain't black, I don't give a fuck what you are. You're damn near white. Take your time. So I'm never going to call the damn near white man my brother and condemn a continent of melanated people that look just like me.